Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Cruising. I'm Pete and I'm in the UK.
And I'm John, and I'm in the middle of Minnesota.
John, I've got a question for you, yeah? It's about the legal responsibilities that the cruise line has with passengers.
Well, I'm really glad you asked me that, Pete, because the Epic had a bit of a problem about 10 days ago, both in the fact that they changed their route, and then everybody's seen the video where, with their engine trouble, they pulled into Puerto Rico and they ended up damaging the ship as they pulled into some dockage and they basically sunk the dock. I mean, it's a sad picture because I don't know about you, Pete, but I'm now 6 times on the Epic, and I think of it as my baby. That ship is my baby. I know so many of the crew. The captain and I, of course, they rotate captains, but one of the captains and he kind of likes me because I'm not one of those guys that just wants to be with the captain and butter him up all the time and try and make friends. I just respectfully say hi to him as we pass. And so sometimes on a new cruise, when he's being bombarded by people and I come walking by with my walker, he'll say, "Oh, excuse me, please." And then he'll come over and just talk to me to say hi, because he knows that I'm just going to say hi, happy to be back on board the ship. And then he walks away and gets about his daily business. So we've had some really good times just kind of back and forth a little bit. But, the Epic ran into some real trouble. They had some engine trouble and they had to change their cruise. And on several chat rooms that I'm on, I'm seeing lines like, "Boy, wait till my lawyer gets a hold of them. I'm going to sue them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, they've ruined my cruise. They've ruined my life. And boy, I'm going to get them back." And your question was, there's some fine print on the contract. And that is absolutely right. When you sign up on any cruise line, we're going to talk about NCL just because it happened to the Epic, and I'm an NCL fanboy, but this is across the line. Any cruise ship, any longboat that you're on a river cruise, the American lines where you're going up and down the Mississippi or the Columbia River, literally the contract is the same. Folks, they've been carrying passengers since the 1700s. They've been developing this contract since then. People are suing them on a regular basis because of this entitlement kind of a thing, where if the trip didn't go just exactly perfect, Pete, by God, I don't care what it costs. I'm going to show them that I had a bad time and they owe me. And they're pretty smart people, and they have lawyers that just sit there and try and figure this out. And there is fine print that says they can change the itinerary without notice. They can ignore a port. They can skip a port. They can substitute at will, and they don't owe you anything. Now, they have decided, in this case, the Epic gave everybody their money back, 100%. So if you think about it, you got to go on this trip. They helped you with your reservations to get back home and made all of that good for you. And you have 100% of your money to make another cruise.
Okay, John, well, I've got to say, well done to Norwegian Cruise Line. I mean, that's very, very impressive. Okay, what if you're saying that if they change a port, there's nothing you can do about it. What do you do if you're not happy about it and they change a port or change 2 or 3 ports? What's the best thing to do to complain?
Well, if you want to if you have a legitimate complaint, now maybe you reserved a shore tour of some kind in the 3rd port and they skipped that port for whatever reason, weather, engine problems, whatever the problem might be, they skipped the 3rd city that you were supposed to go to, and you had a shore tour lined up. You go down to the desk, and I'm telling you, this is absolutely a case where you get more flies with honey than you do with anger. I can tell you, if you go down there and you start off with a smile and say, "I have a problem, and I believe that together we can solve this problem," they want you as a future client. People seem to forget that if the minute you start doing this and you put it in an adversarial position, I don't care if it's on a cruise ship or if it's your kid's teacher at school or it's a policeman where he has the choice to let you off the ticket or not. The last thing you want to do is make a reference to a donut shop in America. I don't know what you guys do in England, but you know, you probably don't want to make a reference to, gee, I just thought I saw you at the donut shop. Probably not a good way to open a dialogue with a policeman in America. Well, it's the same kind of thing. I mean, you know, I've had little tiny complaints. I've been down at the desk. I usually try and wait till it's not flooded with people down there, and they have always taken care of me in a fair and acceptable way, and like they did here on this cruise. But starting off with, boy, wait till my lawyer gets a hold of you, is probably not a great way to start the dialogue.
Okay, John. I've got. We're going to obviously going to try and keep this quite short here. So another question. This is more of a serious one because I actually witnessed an unfortunate incident on a cruise ship where one of the lady passengers was, can you believe, hit by a bowling ball accidentally, I should say. And where does she, by a member of the crew? And so where does she stand legally? What should she do?
Well, that's, you know, and you know, that's really a one-off, very unusual circumstance. And in that case, I think that it's only fair and reasonable to talk to a legal representative, lay out all the facts, and see, you know, there may be a situation where there's some recompense that's due and reasonable, but we always have to remember that, you know, sometimes an accident is an accident. Then, was there negligence after the accident? That's something that also should be looked at. And
does she have any rights?
Does she? Yes, and people do have rights. And but you know, the number one place where this shouldn't be solved is in a chat room on the internet. And that's the thing is, and I'm telling you, if you actually do have a case, whether it's against a shipping line or a cab company or your neighbor or the school, the number one place where you probably don't want to try and start solving it is in a chat room on the internet. If you really want to have an answer or a successful finish to the thing, you probably don't want to start airing your laundry and screaming about it on Facebook or any other place.
Yeah, I agree, John. I think that you should talk to the cruise line, talk to their customer services, and go through their system is the best way. And if you do have a problem and you do go to the front desk, be civil, be nice.
Be civil, be nice, lay out it, take a lot of notes. And then if it should come to the fact that you do need legal representation, I'm telling you, the number one thing that they want is, don't just tell me a story, show me all your notes. If you have notes from the first moment all the way through to here's where I made the call to you guys, then you may have a case. And you know, in that case, the adversary is also very much more likely to settle with you in a fair and reasonable way, because it's not just buffoonery and bluffing. There's a legitimate case. And that's where I think we should leave it today is, don't solve it in a chat room. Go down to the lobby, the desk, and make your case. I've seen every cruise line that I've been involved with is more than willing to work with you on a reasonable basis. If something has happened and there needs to be changes, they do what they can do. Like Norwegian first said 50% on the Epic mistake last week, then they went 100%. It took a little while, a little patience always helps. And finally, if you do need legal representation, make that between you and your lawyer, not you and the world.
Well, thank you, John. And also thank you out there for watching Let's Talk Cruising. Please subscribe.
Click the links, click the buttons. We thank you for being along with us. Pete, always a pleasure. Hey, the new background is looking good. Where's your apartment? Can you point? Where's your apartment in that building?
Yeah. I'm kind of overlooking the Thames. I wish.
Fantastic.
Bye, John.
See you soon, Pete. Have a great day, everybody.
Andrew, bye. Thanks for watching.